virus. Why are you so confident? Because a lot of people aren't so sure that we're not going to have a recurrence when we get another flu season next fall.
Well, we don't know how seasonal this virus is. It'd probably be good for the northern hemisphere if the force of infection goes down as we get into spring and summer, and give us some time to get both the drugs and advance the vaccine. It is fair to say things won't go back to truly normal until we have a vaccine that we've gotten out to basically the entire world. And so, the best people at the foundation who are all about high volume vaccines, are working with many manufacturers, not only on the safety and efficacy, but getting that billions of dose capacity. And so, like China, there'll be a partial opening up, which some jobs will resume, school will resume, but we'll have to be very, very careful not to have the rebound until the vaccine comes.
Now, you talk about the foundation. All the way back on February 5th, the Gates Foundation committed $100 million to fight this virus. But you point out the fact that our government, like a lot of other governments, was very slow to respond. Really, another 2 months we might have lost. How much did that cost us in terms of the spread of this disease, that 1 or 2 months that we lost?
Well, there are countries like Taiwan who were exemplary, saw the problem and really got the testing, community-wide testing, done very well. They prioritized who got tested, and so they won't either have the disease burden or the economic effect that other countries will have. China, by late January, had taken it seriously, and so their ability to get the cases to come down has been dramatic. South Korea's done that, and so there are lessons that we're learning from, and we're all in this together. We've got to get rid of coronavirus from the entire world. The U.S., we can see how tough it is here. Likely it'll be even worse in the developing countries who as yet don't have nearly as many cases.
How do you think the federal and state governments are responding now, and would you prefer to see it all being handled on a national level, whether it's stay-at-home orders or testing or the supply chain? Would you prefer to see this all being handled on a national, centralized level rather than state by state?
Well, when you have finite resources, you need to allocate them to where there's the most need. Certainly, because people move around the country, we have to have the shutdown, or else you'll have exponential growth that will spread back into other parts of the country. In terms of testing, people have gotten confused and think it's just about numbers. The key is that you have a response to the test in less than 24 hours, and that you're prioritizing the right people. And so, although the numbers are going up, we're not yet focusing in on that medical personnel or somebody who's keeping the electric network or the food distribution working, and being able to say if somebody tests positive, very quickly test their contacts. And so, I do think, that allocation, prioritization of testing will be a key tactic for us to get into good shape.
And that needs to be done at a national level, not a state level?
That's right. I mean, you have some states that it just happens the number of PCR machines in that state are very few, and you wouldn't think, hey, that's the way this should be done. Also, the outbreak, is bigger in some areas, and so therefore that drives the testing demand. Likewise, the ventilator demand. I mean, this is all very ad hoc because we never did a full-blown simulation. There were a few things done. But it's not like war, where we do war games all the time. We have people standing by, resources standing by in a dramatic level. We're kind of figuring this out as we go, which, people are rising to the occasion. And, it's fantastic to see that. But every day we can see that case number is still going up.
When you gave that famous TED Talk 5 years ago, you laid out a lot of the things that we're starting to do now, like research and development on new tests and R&D on vaccines. But so many countries around the world, including the U.S. back in 2015, largely ignored your warning.